Happy Monday. It is Monday again, but we're in quarantine working from home. This is Slice of Life. That is Billy Harner. My name is Keith Rad. Back in action. New York City opens up today, Bill. We'll start off with our favorite social slice, which is also my favorite life slice because we live here. We're open. We're ready to go.
Yeah, so here in New York, in New York City, they're opening phase 1 today. Here on Long Island, we're slowly getting towards phase 2 and eventually, hopefully, phase 3 and beyond. But in other parts of the world, phase 1 means different things. For example, in the United Kingdom, a lot of the fast food restaurants have been closed completely during the pandemic. So this weekend in Wales, McDonald's was opening up again for drive-through service only. And as one might expect, the turnout was huge. People were just craving Big Macs and fries and chicken McNuggets, which I completely understand. I have ventured out a few times to get some Happy Meals for my kids to help them sort of feel a little bit normal. So when these drive-thrus were jam-packed, they got a little bit more than they bargained for than just a Happy Meal and then some fries. So take a look. So that is Gavin Brewster, who is a floor manager at a McDonald's in Wales. The lines were massive at the drive-thru, so there was a lot of angry people. So Gavin decided he was going to take matters into his own hand and supply dinner and a show. I absolutely love this. I was hoping that every time that I go to a drive-thru for the rest of my life, I will also see someone performing like this. And in honor of McDonald's, I'm loving it, Keith.
I didn't know that was a thing outside of the U.S. that fast food restaurants were closed. I mean, I don't think the country probably would have been a lot worse off if we had closed McDonald's and, for me personally, Taco Bell and a lot of others. But the best part about this video, I'm a sucker for broadcasting and commentating. The laughter from the ladies' videotaping was the absolute best. Just the live reaction of this guy. He had all the moves, and then he grabs the hat, and so he knows props. It seems like he's well trained, this guy.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of other songs. There's a lot of different angles for this, and if you look deeper into it, Gavin Brewster is himself a drag performer as well. So the guy had the moves. He knew his songs. He knew how to perform. He's quite the performer for sure.
For my favorite social slice, Billy, I have a question for you. Is this what the future holds? Because if it is, I don't want to be part of it. So I got a kick out of this video this weekend of volleyball, and I was reading the comments, and someone commented, why can't they just sanitize the ball and their hands? I probably could. You probably don't have to have this poor sucker running between the net. But my volleyball loving fiance sent me this video, and I was cracking up.
Yeah, this is there's all sorts of questions about this because this is potentially the life that we're looking at. When you're playing football and somebody has the ball and throws it to somebody else, they catch it, and then somebody else tackles that person. What are they going to do? They're going to put Purell stations on the 20s or something like that. Or when a guy takes a free throw, a referee touches it and then gives it back to the guy. Does he have to stop him Purell before he shoots again? So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But like you said, I'm not excited about this. If this is what the future holds, I hope this was just a spoof.
Chicken Parm Heroes. I always love these videos. You see them. I think social media, one of the good parts of social media is that I guess we get these personal looks that we might not have ever seen before Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. Back in the day, I say back in the day like I'm a kid, like last year. A couple of years ago, Rondé Hollis Jefferson bought his mother a house. And then over the weekend, we got to see James Conner, who's a running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, his stock has started to rise as he gets more reps, and Le'Veon Bell didn't want to play for the Steelers. So James Conner was like, okay, more for me. And take a look what James Conner was able to do for his dad.
Here, Pop, that's yours. You swear, Jay. It's yours. Look, it's brand new. 2020, I got you. All black. You like it? Check it out. Come on. Jay! Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, black. Oh! You gotta be right side. I got the big one. Hey!
So we all dream of this. This is the American dream. You work so hard for it, and in this country and a lot of other countries, but this country in particular, you get paid handsomely for it when you do a really good job. You remember Brady Singer, who was in the Royals organization in baseball? He paid his parents' mortgage off. There was a video that was really touching. You see his parents like breaking down, reading the letter that he writes to them. And here you have James Conner, who has the American dream and now gets to share it with his dad. You don't even see the truck he buys him. It's all about the reaction. It's the best part. I think that's kind of we all love the material items, but it's not what it's about. It's about love and sharing in that. So if James Conner wants to buy me a truck, he can. We can all share in that. But I love this. This is great.
Yeah, with the baseball draft coming up, you see a lot of this stuff, and Saquon Barkley bought a house for his parents as well. So like you see stuff like this happen all the time, and it's great to see when guys get their money and get their check and then sort of hit it big. They're not just looking out for themselves; they're looking out to everybody who helped them along the way. And great to see stuff like this. For my chicken farm hero, Antonio Gwynn Jr. And the baseball guy in me just wants to call him Tony Gwynn, but I guess I can't do it. So Antonio Gwynn saw the damage from protests and some rioting in his hometown of Buffalo and decided to do something about it. He grabbed a broom, purchased some trash bags, and took to the streets at 2 a.m. and started cleaning up and didn't stop for 10 hours. When a group that had organized on social media early in the morning, this was last Monday, so this was a week ago. A group had seen the news and saw that there was going to be some damage on the streets. So they organized on social media and decided they were going to go do the same thing. But by the time they all showed up, Antonio had cleaned up everything by himself. So word quickly spread that Gwynn was single-handedly cleaning up the town. And one Buffalo resident, whose name is Matthew Block, saw the story and decided to reward the 18-year-old high school student for his efforts by giving him a car. Block gave him a 2004 Mustang convertible that he had and was no longer using as frequently as he once was. So he gave Antonio the car because Antonio was on the search for a car. He looked on Facebook and Twitter and realized that this guy was posting, asking people for information on any used cars. So he gave him a used car. But this car was no ordinary car. Of course, there was extra meaning to it because Gwynn's mom, who passed away in 2018, used to drive this exact same car, completely unbeknownst to Matthew Block. So this is just how things work out. Another local businessman saw that what Gwynn had done and then saw what Matthew Block had done and decided that he was going to give Antonio a free year of car insurance to cover this free car that he had just received. But that's all great, but they're not done because Gwynn had decided that he was going to go to trade school while saving up money to pay for himself to go through college. But that wasn't good enough because a local college in Buffalo saw the story. I'm going to say their name, Medale. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not from the Buffalo area. I know NYU and I know SUNY Farmingdale, and that's probably the extent of my knowledge. But Medale College in Buffalo saw the story and gave him a full scholarship starting this fall, where he will major in business administration. And his hope is to open his own cleaning business. So just an unbelievable story where everything came together and just perfect symmetry all the way around. And thank you to Antonio and thank you to everybody else involved in this story. It's just another example of one person doing one thing and it's sort of having a butterfly effect on everybody. And, we love to see stories like this, and it really gives you hope in a time where we're all trying to work together and you don't know what you can do. This is the kind of stuff you can do.
Yeah, that was probably the best slice of life story I think we've ever had on the show. I mean, that was amazing. I mean, the kid has done just to go out and at 2 a.m. and clean up, from whatever it is, protest or riot or whatever it may be, and to have the world say thank you in so many different ways, have the connection with his mom. I mean, that's insane. That was the car she drove. I just think we're here for a reason, and these things kind of point to that. So you win. You win the best. You've told the best story now on this show, Billy. So that was amazing. For sports, what do we want to talk about first? I think Mets fans are hurting, Bill. They miss their Mets. They miss the young stars, the Pete Alonsos of the world. So lifted last year. Give them something to love today, Billy.
So the MLB draft is coming up this week. It'll have a different feel, obviously, from what it normally does. If the draft in 2010 was like the draft this year, the Mets might look a little bit different. Because on this date in 2010, the Mets selected Jacob deGrom, a light-hitting shortstop from Stetson University in Florida, in the 9th round of the Major League Baseball draft. He went 4-5 during his junior year and spent most of his time as an infielder, where he hit like 260. And during his 3 years at Stetson for the Mad Hatters, which is one of the best college sports names around, he had 1 home run, and it came against future Cy Young Award winner Chris Sale. Take a look.
Back in the first, Sale's got 2 outs and then gave up a couple of hits. See what he does if he can shut the door here. That ball is well hit, and the right fielder's going to go back and just look at that one. And so pitcher battling pitcher, and after deGrom fell down by a run at the top of the inning, he comes back and does it himself to take care of it. And from the crack of the bat, he jacked that one over the right field fence by the scoreboard out there in the big Atlantic Sun Championship. So that's a pitcher helping himself right there.
Yeah, it was a no doubt about it kind of swing. He just sat on a fastball and got every.
So crazy. You have a future Cy Young Award winner on the mound, a future Cy Young Award winner in the batter's box, who is a current day shortstop. Florida Gulf Coast against Stetson, and Jake just gets into one and goes yard. Just cool stuff. And, crystal ball down the road. Who knew what these two guys were going to be?
Yeah, there you go. Mets fans should be extremely happy to hear that this is a day of remembrance, 10-year anniversary. Crazy to think about everyone's favorite shortstop, Jacob deGrom. One of my favorite things to talk about. For my sports story, more baseball, more nostalgia, really. Like this is the last few years of people just love the 90s and nostalgia. Long Gone Summer, story of the 98 home run chase between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. The height of the steroid era is coming to ESPN, 30 for 30, June 14th, Sunday. There'll be interviews with both of them about this crazy time. I remember this, Billy. I was reading a magazine in my bed. That's how far back we go with this. There's no Twitter. There was no Instagram. Uphill both ways in the snow, reading my magazine. And now we get to hear from both of them revisit the chase. So McGuire's come out. He said, he participated in steroids. Sammy, I think, has still not said that he's, admitted to anything. And that whole era was so nuts. And now clouded, obviously, in steroids. But now we get to see a little bit deeper. The Last Dance, Lance Armstrong, Bruce Lee. We're like, this is the year of the documentaries. And here we go again. Long Gone Summer.
Yeah, I was in 1998. I was 15 years old, and I didn't have cable in my house. So we were me and some of my friends were wandering the streets of Bay Ridge trying to find someplace where we could watch the games on ESPN. We were trying to watch through windows of bars, and we ended up going to a pool hall, and we're able to see Mark McGwire hit 70. So that was a cool day. And like you said, these documentaries have all been very well done, very interesting. The Bruce Lee one last night was very interesting, considering the time that it sort of aired, because there was a lot of about the discrimination that Bruce Lee sort of faced, and Asian Americans in cinema and how they were depicted and things like that. So I thought it was sort of a very timely snapshot into what we're sort of dealing with currently. But these things are all very enjoyable. I mean, it's not sports, but it's informative and interesting nonetheless. So I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, I think a lot of people say, I guess you could say the millennials, they just want to watch the Kardashians. But like, I think because of Netflix and Hulu and all the streaming platforms, people watch a ton of documentaries. Like people are hungry to learn, and you just love the backstory, whether it's sports or Dirty Money is a really good show, or just any of these kind of behind the scenes expose documentaries, moving the world forward. I'm all for it.
I think all of these true crime documentaries, like Making a Murderer and all those things, that have sort of changed the way people look at documentaries, and they don't have to be crammed into a 2.5 hour box. They can be extensive and a series. So Netflix has sort of changed the way that people are getting their education in some different current events. So very cool to see.
Yeah, and I still have to get through. I want to get through 25 hours of Ken Burns baseball. I'm trying. I'm on like inning 6, but that one's pretty long. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow, Bill, for another Slice of Life.
Take care. Have a great day, everyone.